Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video we are going to learn about the access specifier in Swift, that is public, private, open, file private and internal. So let's start with the open and public access specifier. The open and public access specifiers allows your code to be accessed from the outside of the module and within the module. So with module we name a particular framework is itself a module, and also your app is a particular module, that is the one module. So here this sliding top tab bar framework has class declared as public and has functions also public. So let's see what it tells us. So with public we can access those code from the different modules. So this is the framework and this is our app. So our app is a different module than the framework. So first of all we need to import a sliding top tab bar. Now here class slider, and here we say a sliding top tab bar, and we also say override init with view controller. So since the class is declared public, so it can be accessed, but we cannot inherit that class and also cannot override the functions that are declared as public. For example, here cannot inherit from non-open class, and also this say overriding non-open instance method outside of its defining module is not allowed. So this is the public, so it can be accessed from the outside module but cannot be inherited and override, whereas the open class can be inherited and override. For example, this UI view controller class is declared as open, so we can inherit it, and also the function viewDidLoad are declared as open, so we can override it. So this is the only difference between the public and the open access specifier. So now let's move on to our second access specifier, that is internal. By default every variable or function or class is internal since it's most commonly used, and so by default Apple provides this access specifier as the internal access specifier as a default access specifier for all the functions. So the internal function can be, or the internal access specifier functions classes can be accessed from any class inside a module but not outside of the module. For the outside module you either make your class or variable of public or open as per your need. So this is the only case with internal. Now let comes to the private part. So private, as known that private is only accessible within that class or within the defining module, or you can say module, or you can say the defined boundaries. So for example, we have created a class developer here, file developer.sist. So let's say class developer, and here we will create a function show developer name, and it will return string, that is the name of the developer. So we will say return Robin, and since this function is now internal because the default access specifier is internal, so it can be accessed from the view controller. So let's say that dev is equals to developer and dev dot show developer name. So here we can say let dev name is equals to this. So now it's accessible and there is no error. So here let's make this function private. So once this function made private, it won't be accessible from the view controller class. So let's build this project, and here you can say show developer name is inaccessible due to private protection level. So this is the private, but it can be accessed from within this defining class. Or now let's say function show name of private function. So here it will return type string. Here we will use done show developer name. And now if I go to here and here, so it can be now accessible because show name of private function is internal function and it is accessing its own class private function show developer name. Now you can understand that private access specifier allows your code to be only accessible within the defining classes or functions. Now let's move on to the file private. So here we say file private, we will make it file private, and now we goes here, so it will not come because it's private. So with file private, what it means that this function show developer name can be accessed from within this file, that is developer.swift. So for example, if we say file private, what we can do, we can use this function from within this Swift file. So for example, we will create class junior dev and it is inheritable from developer, and here we create a function so junior dev, and here we say self dot show developer name. So now you can say this is accessible from here. What if I copy paste this code to my view controller and create same thing? Now here you can say it will give an error that it is not accessible due to file private protection level. So with file private, we cannot access the function or variable that is declared as file private outside of that file. So now let's summarize the things. The open and public access specifier gives you the control to allow your code to be accessed from outside the module. The only difference is that the public access specifier doesn't allow your core class or function to be override or inherited by some other class outside of the module or inside of the module. The second is the internal. So this is the default access specifier and it allows your code to be accessed from anywhere inside the particular module but not outside of that module. And the third one is private. So private access specifier allows your code to be accessed only from that particular boundary or particular class. The file private access specifier allows your variables or function to be accessed from that only particular file, that particular .swift file, and not outside of that .swift file. So these are the 5 access specifiers or access control provider in Swift. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and do share this video. And lastly, thanks for watching. Bye for now.